Now today I'm privileged to have Afenyo-Markin, the man who started life as a principal postal officer at the Ghana Post Company Limited, to the Futu Municipal Assembly as assembly member for Kojo Bedu electoral area, and later presiding member in his 20s, former board chair of the Ghana Water Company, and now at age 46, leads Ghana's parliament as a majority leader. Alex, welcome.
Thank you, Elton.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, my dear. Thank you for having me. Let me let our viewers know that you were part of those who nurtured me in Parliament, and I appreciate all that you did in my early days in the House. You were such a great journalist. Thank you to Multimedia for bringing you to Parliament and for making some of us better politicians. I appreciate that a lot, and I want to say that for the records. Thank you, Elton.
I appreciate your kind
words. My bosom brother. Thank you.
All right, so I know, for example, that even before you went into politics, you were a very successful businessman.
Yeah, I was running bauxite.
I was a courier service, your law firm.
We were doing Ghana bauxite. I was doing bauxite shipment from Awasu to Takoradi, and I was doing manganese. For bauxite, I was the main transporter service provider.
You were in your 20s even at that time.
I remember I went to Epany in France to buy trailers, and the manufacturer asked me whether I was managing my father's business, and whether
you came with your father,
whether I was a heir apparent, and I said no, that's my business, and they were shocked. It's still the grace of God, and we were working for Ghana magazines. And then also, when these Indians came with diamond cement, we were hauling for their limestone for them from Tablibo in Togo to Aplao, and then from Aplao to Bupe, and then we were taking their clinker from Takoradi to Bupe, and then doing Aplao to Takoradi. It was such an experience where you have to be trailing your drivers, following them. That time, we didn't have tracking device. So everything was manual.
You had to do it yourself?
We had to.
And the business took a nose because of politics?
Partially. I mean, because when I got into politics, I remember when I got elected as an assemblyman and subsequently becoming a presiding member, Standard Chartered Bank had given me some $4 million facility, and they had bought some trucks for me. So I think one morning, one of their officers said he saw my poster, my poster on one of the
trucks.
One of the buses at Kanishi, the Winneba Accra buses. It had my poster, and then he took a picture and sent it to the office. So I remember at the time they said I was a politically exposed person because we have given you a loan and you are also doing politics. So it was Alex Mould who intervened, because the meetings were held in Alex's office. He was the head of the department, and some guys were pushing that they should call in the facility. So I remember Alex Mould would invite me, say, young man, why don't you stop the assemblyman? I said, but it doesn't have any effect on my business. I'm running the business, I'm paying my facility. Eventually, I was not successful. They downgraded my account to GSAM. In StanChart then, I don't know whether it's there now. If your account is in distress, they now downgrade you to a different department. So you are no more part of the corporate stream.
Right.
So a different department will manage you, where you have to give an account of every expenditure. So when your revenue comes, you need to justify why they should give you this money. But that situation rather got worse. And I remember Mele Newman, she did so well, was managing me, and Estelle and co. We were having back and forth. Then eventually, the group head for West Africa, Buba Jene, said, look, young man, we'll try and help you, but pay your facility. So we're on and on and on until the trucks give up. And I think when I eventually got elected as a member of parliament, these drivers, there's this Ghanaian attitude towards business, employment. They really don't care, and they mess it up. But be it as it may, we are here. And I think I was also hauling for Guinness, my flatbeds. I was a major transporter for Guinness Ghana Limited, So when I became an MP, drivers would go and they will park the truck somewhere, steal some of the drinks, and then when you come, Guinness, when they are paying you, they deduct it.
All those things.
I saw. So yeah. We're losing money. And then these Chinese people who do holiday, import tiles and all that, we're hauling for them in Tema to their Malam office. You know, I've forgotten their name. You know, they have an office at Malam, so the warehouse there. So we got over 200 trucks, yes. I think Intercontinental also bought some trucks for me. NIB bought some trucks. But in all of these, one person that I must mention, Mr. Amwabi, you know, he...
Formerly of UT Bank.
UT Bank, yes. You know, we did some business with UT Financial Services. And Mr. Amwabi was a true father to me. He understood my situation. He called me one day to ask me a lot of questions. He said, why do you like politics? You know, he speaks Fanti with me. And I answered, he looked at me, said, you this young man, you are brave. Anyway, when I was in distress, he said, look, I won't take you to court, but I'll give you the chance to pay. Put in place some measures. And then they appointed
another to look at your books.
Yes, to look at us and we work together. You know, I've had a fair share of life's crisis. I've learned a lot. I've made some very silly mistakes, terrible mistakes, because in life, if you don't start with a mentor, you don't have a godfather, and everything is on your own, you're likely to make a lot of mistakes. Because I didn't have one. So you think I suffered a lot.
So you think your calling is business or politics? Because clearly you seem to you were doing very well in business before you ventured into politics.
And made good money. Made good money. All right. I think what even took me to the law school was an accident I had at La Palma. You know, I was driving in my Mercedes, you know, on the La road, and a woman crossed me, and then while she was apologizing, two little kids in her car, one I presume was 8, the other 10, and while their mom was pleading, one said, hey, if you don't stop what you're doing, no, I was insisting that the woman should fix my car. Okay, it's a Mercedes, you know, a young man in my early 20s.
Because she caused the accident.
She caused, yes. The one of the girls said, our uncle is a lawyer, so if it goes to court, you lose. The other one said, our grandmother is a judge. I was heartbroken.
So, the case had been decided there.
I was heartbroken. And I realized that life was not all about money. So I just drove off, got to my residence. I mean, wept a bit. And I said, look, at that time I had left Kivaz and I'd abandoned school. And I was doing business. So I said, I need to go to school. All right? That's why I applied and I got back to Buckingham, and then I said, I will do law. You know, and also when you're a businessman, you walk around, people don't respect you. They think that you are rich, you are not wise, you are not smart. You know, a lot of businessmen who are not too educated are looked down upon. So it's like, when you scar, you know, say when you scar, and I want to go to school. So that thing also hit me hard. And I said, no, I will. But for the politics itself, I don't think I had planned my life around politics. It was my classmates who accosted me when I was in final year.